Back now at 8:35 with a group of women who went above and beyond to keep this country safe. Between 1939 and 1945, factories were filled with women. They built airplanes, ships, even tanks, turning out more hardware than ever before. Today, some of those women are in their late 80s and 90s, and NBC's Ann Curry took time to get to know and honor them.
Countless images from World War II have settled into our collective memory. They tell the story of a world in turmoil and the bravery of the soldiers who set it right. But one image has come to represent the revolutionary stateside army behind those men, a wartime poster of a girl they called Rosie, Rosie the Riveter.
I worked as a riveter and a bucker.
I was an inspector,
A lab technician. I made machine guns. I was a welder.
Rosie symbolized all the women who replaced their aprons with power tools, stepping out of the shadows and up for the cause to build arms for the soldiers abroad. Now, nearly 3/4 of a century later, some have only just begun to tell their stories.
This is December 8th.
Pearl Harbor had been bombed. 2,400 Americans killed.
Here in an old factory where several of them once built naval ships, 50 Rosies look back.
I heard it on the little radio.
December 7, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
I'm 17, and I just stood and listened to it, and it was so sad, all those boys getting killed, you know.
We knew it was going to be war.
When our boys started leaving class, you knew they might not come back, and it was terrible.
All the newspapers was putting ads in asking the women to go to the defense plants. Over 1 million women answered that call.
American women are alert to the dangers which threaten our democracy today.
Answering that patriotic call would change the lives of American women and how they view themselves forever. By 1944, 20 million women worked outside the home, 6 million of them in the factory jobs their boys left behind. Evelina, is it true that when you arrived at the factory, the first thing that happened is they gave you a broom?
That's right.
And what did you say?
I swept all day, and I was mad as I threw the old broom down on the floor, and I said, I did not come out here as a janitor. If this is all you got to hand me, I quit. Boy, the boss, he came real quick to me and he said, we need people like you, you stay.
And you became a riveter.
Rosie the Riveter.
Working for victory, Rosie, the Riveter.
And for the first time, women got to wear the pants, literally.
Women working in industrial plants need costumes which are comfortable and safe around machinery.
I have a surprise for you. I want to know.
Great granddaughter.
Did anybody wear overalls that looked a little bit like this?
I wore coveralls.
The thing is, before these coveralls, women didn't wear pants.
No.
And I see a lot of you have taken still to wearing pants. Many of them, still teenagers, were given just weeks of training for jobs the men before them had years to learn.
I didn't even know how to fry an egg when I went to work. I didn't do anything except have a good time and walk and laugh and cut up.
Agnes was the first woman to operate a crane in your factory.
Here's my license. The boss, he said, these boys now are leaving for the service. So it's going to be up to you women to start operating the cranes and the truck. And he reached in his pocket and he says, here, Agnes, here's your license.
Thousands of women are here engaged with deft fingers and patriotic devotion.
Soldiers' lives shielded by the machines they pieced together, knowing one sloppy rivet could bring down a plane.
Are the people that are trying to use it going to be killed because of me, of something that I didn't know how to do? That was the main worry.
We had to get this work done so we could get the end of the war.
We had to get the boys home.
Which specifies the unconditional surrender of Japan.
Over the intercom came these words: war ends. We could go home. And people went wild.
All the hugging and the kissing and the dancing in the streets because the war was over.
But when the ticker tape had settled and the revelry died down, the women were told to go home, that they were simply no longer needed.
You didn't know at the time what you had done for women. In fact, many of you didn't even talk about what you had done.
We didn't think about it. We didn't think about it.
But why wouldn't you talk about it, buddy?
We just thought it was a job we done, that was it.
Though the Rosies are now in their late 80s and 90s, some of their children are just beginning to learn what their mothers had done.
The only regrets I have is not realizing the impact sooner. And I'm really thankful that I've been able to talk and learn more about it and to be able to thank her.
I'm going to tell my daughter that her great-grandmother helped to end a war. It helped to make a country whole again. Opened the door for her to be able to do whatever she sets her mind to.
Why is it so important that we talk to you now?
Whenever I mention Rosie the Riveter, and a lot of the young people, they thought that it was a dance. I said, no, it's not a dance. I said, it's when we used to work during the war, it's what it was.
And it's just good history. And there's so many things in our life, past life, that has died out and never know about it.
So you're saying if you don't get the message out now,
we won't.
It won't be told.
And I really feel great about what I did. I feel like I've done something worthy.
Ann Curry with that portrait of those amazing women.